Right, so this is what I've got at the moment before I start the bird job. I've got this, other parts, recognisable frontage, we all know. In my shed I have the package sent up from Mark. He was very nice. He very nicely gave me his old one that he replaced when it was leaking. He assures me that the one he's put in a new seal and it is watertight. And in my wee workshop I have the fire, which, yes, it's a rusty mess, but I'll be able to fix that. And this is my old heat exchanger. It looks like the leak may have originated on here. There is a very deep area of rust here and very little sealing area there. Right, so that's new firewall for the back. Unfortunately I should have ordered 4, not 3. But then, why do folk advertise these firewalls and not measure them? I mean, if I had the right measurements from them I would have known, but all it said was a part number, and when you go to the part number on the website it says nothing about the size of it. It's absolutely stupid. Just tells you what models it goes in. I know this isn't for a 551 or a 552 or a 553 for that, but look what I could have done if I'd had the 4th one. Nuts. Anyway, so that's that done. The holes that were in the side due to the corrosion, I've put an aluminium plate in, a bit of gap at the front, at the top to allow for expansion, and then held in with bolts just at the bottom, so that allows this to expand freely rather than, if I fastened it at the top, this would expand more than the metal and it would twist the metal out of shape. So just fasten it at the bottom like that, using the screws that hold on this support. Here's the heat exchanger I got off eBay from Mark, and it looks really good. It looks like he spent a lot of time cleaning up the fins, and he found me the baffles. The baffles have to sit on the fire, because what that does is it redirects instead of the heat coming up through between the gaps in the fins here, these divert the heat around the fins. So that's the bottom one, I can tell, and this is the top one. Sits like that. You see what I'm saying about them diverting the heat around the fins? Perfect. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the dry run. The heat exchanger, the ports all match up. They're doing fine. Goes in quite easily, even leaving that blank plug-in doesn't get in the way, because this tinfoil case. However, when I do transport this thing round on the rug, because I'll be pulling it on this rug, see, on this runner, I'll need to tie something round the combustion box to make sure the heat exchanger doesn't drop out. Let's not forget I have to get this locking plate in, which goes on through this hole here. I may have buggered up here, I'll see in a minute. So that's the gasket seals in. Easiest way to put them in is to turn the whole combustion box and the heat exchanger on its side. I've put these fittings in hand tight, just basically to hold the gaskets in place while I transport the whole thing round to the living room to put it in. There's another bit of a rust hole here which I'm going to have to cover. That's going to be done with this plate, a bit of aluminium and some fire paste. That took a little bit of thinking. I had to put this bit of wood here to act like a ramp to get it up to there, and then to get it over the sill I basically pulled a little bit, slid this along a little bit, pulled, slid, pulled, slid, pulled, slid, pulled, slid, keeping most of the weight on this back bit until I reached there, and then let it act like a seesaw and bring it over and into the house. Okay, so here's the boiler part of the way in. I've just Connect up the pipes and then get it leveled correctly so the front sits on it properly, because it's this gas front here has to line up with these brackets, so that requires maybe bits of wood, tiny bits of wood put under the front of the boiler. Phew. So that's the boiler back in. I've opened up the header tank, so I heard some gurgling coming from here, so that tells me there's water to here. I'm going to leave paper towels and stuff lying about. I've wiped all the joints dry, so I'll give it half an hour just sitting idle doing nothing, see if anything drips. This was an absolute bugger to get in, simply because the pipes, the old fireplace kept getting in the way of the pipes. The previous guys who put this in didn't leave much leeway for movement, so next thing I have to do is pre-lag these bits once I've checked that there's no drips, and move on to the next stage, which will be firing it up and see how it goes with the gas on. So that's it, almost all back in. I've just to get the plinth for this set up. We did have a bit of a setback yesterday. This was leaking. It was just a drip. So I went to cure it. I went to take it apart so I could reseal it. And unfortunately I didn't realise we had a head of water going on, so unfortunately I had a little flood in here yesterday again. Not as bad as the first flood when the leak occurred on the heat exchanger, but pretty close. Right, okay, so that's everything almost ready to put back together. Okay, so that's the back boiler all back together. Took a lot of finagling. One thing to be aware of is it's really hard to get hold of that lagging wrap, the brown stuff that's 2 inches wide and comes in a roll. You need that for getting around all the irregular shapes on the pipework entering the boiler. I've got away with using rock wool just for now, but I'll order a roll of it on eBay. So the boiler's been heating up the water now for a better part of 15 minutes. Now remember, it's been off for about a week. A week it's been off. And this is room temperature, which is what? 13.6. The water started off at 13.6. It's now at 15.4. Normally I can heat the water 3 times a day for between 20 minutes and half an hour, and that provides enough hot water for the whole family for washing, cleaning, showers, stuff like that, which is very efficient, I think. So with this new heater exchange in there, I just wonder what differences I'll see. Anyway, so we're making progress, we're getting hot water. Good, 15.5 now, so it's going up about a degree every minute, and I expect that to speed up a bit once the temperature gets up a bit. Okay, so that's the gas heating up the central heating system now. I've got it on water only at the moment, try and get a tank of hot water for tonight. I definitely need a shower. So been on for about 15-20 minutes. This is my central heating control, and beside it I have one of these inside-outside thermometers. The outside bit is rigged up to the actual hot water tank upstairs. So it started off at 13.6, this is room temperature, and this is the actual hot water temperature at the tank where the probe is. And as you can see, it's going up. It was really slow to start with, but now it's going up a degree about every 2-3 minutes. So it's changing all the time. You can see it actually physically changing right now. See, 16.3. I just changed to 16.3, it'll go up to 16.4. Well, I'm not going to wait until that happens. But anyway, you can see it is going up a degree, I'd say every 2-3 minutes. But remember, it started off with a cold water, a tank full of cold water. So it's going to take a while to get up. But once it gets up to about 30, I reckon it'll start speeding. It'll speed up a lot quicker than that. I normally have the hot water heating 20 minutes, half an hour, somewhere thereabouts, 3 times a day. So it gives us enough hot water for morning, noon and showers at night. So yeah, looks like we're on target. Fingers crossed. So that's the cleanup started, work done. Check the electrics, make sure the fancy display comes on. Here we go. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Everything's back in order again. Loving it, loving it. Cool, okay. Hopefully, all I've to do now is to get the key for the radiators, because I've got really old radiators and the 5mm keys you get don't work for it. I've got to get something like 4.75 or 4.5. Anyway, they're on order. So, there we go, all done.